Good evening, everyone. I am your host, Amy Thielen, and I have the great honor to serve as the Vice President of Bitwise Industries Bakersfield. I first off want to thank everybody for taking the time out of your night to be here with us. Our time together tonight is going to go super quick, so I want to let you know what you should expect. So I'm going to give a brief update on the exciting things that have been happening here at Bitwise and things that you might be interested in. And then I'll follow this up with a whole, Q&A at the end of this. So before I jump into anything, though, I want to draw your attention to the QA function located in the right-hand side of the column. And we ask that you please use this feature to ask any questions you may have. These will come directly to our team, and we'll answer as many as time allows at the end of this. If we run out of any time and your question does not get answered, though, please feel free to email us at pr@bitwiseindustries.com. So let's get into this, everyone. First, huge and exciting announcement to make. We have added a director of Bitwise Bakersfield, and while she is unable to be here with us tonight, I will try to do her introduction some justice. Natasha Felkins is our new director of Bitwise and is a longtime resident of Bakersfield. And after spending some years in Orange County, she made her way back to Bakersfield and has been working as a professional in our community ever since. And I think that's at least about 15 plus years now. If you've ever met Natasha, which many of you on this probably have, you know she's plugged into our community like nobody else. When I need to find somebody that does something, anything in our community, I mean, you name it, I go to her and she has a contact. She'll immediately send somebody over or just, spit somebody out. It's pretty amazing. And she really truly believes in the movement of Bitwise, and we could not be happier to have her on our team. We're really excited to see all the amazing things she helps bring to Bakersfield. Her work so far, and she's been with us, I think, since April. The work she's been really doing so far before, opening the building and all of that is establishing relationships with key people, key organizations in our city, nonprofits, public, private, you name it. And a quick funny story, she had been with us, I think, 2-3 weeks. And, the first week you spend getting somebody up to speed, doing some trainings, introducing them to your processes, and then she hits the ground running. And after 2 weeks, I said, hey, send me a list of all the people you've made connections with, in our community so far. Mind you, she's still getting up to speed. So I think she's going to send me a list of 10, 15, 20 would be killing it. And she sends me over a list of 100 plus people. So if that doesn't sum her up in one sentence, I really don't know what it is. But we are so lucky to have her. And I really can't wait to see what she does. If you see Natasha around, give her a warm welcome, please. So welcome, Natasha. We are so excited to have you. So here at Bitwise Industries, we connect people from marginalized communities and stories of systemic poverty to the skills and resources necessary to access opportunities in the tech industry. And we're committed to creating a diverse, inclusive talent pipeline where anyone can learn, and then they immediately put those skills to use in the tech industry. And we're committing to finding solutions for some of the most pressing challenges in our community as well, similar to something called HomeConnect. HomeConnect is bringing an innovative approach to how we use and think about energy in our community, and what helps us create more resilient cities in the long term. And so I want to invite my friend Virginia Penaloza to tell us a little bit more about what HomeConnect is up to in our valley and why we're glad to support them. So Virginia, over to you.
Hi, Amy, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Great. Thanks so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Virginia Peñalosa. I'm the Community Engagement Manager at HomeConnect, and I'm excited to be here today and for the opportunity to work with Bitwise and join efforts to serve the people of the Central Valley. I myself was born and raised in Bakersfield, so Bakersfield has a very special place in my heart. So HomeConnect is a free residential demand response software platform that pays households to reduce their energy use when the electric grid is stressed. Users give us permission to connect to their utility account to track their base usage and energy savings. During times when the grid is projected to be stressed, HomeConnect reaches out to its users via text message and email to ask that they conserve energy during events we call Home Hours. These events are typically an hour long. You can either manually turn off or disconnect devices, or through a smart plug, HomeConnect can power down your devices for you. We do have an opt-out feature, so if you can't or don't want to participate in every event, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to. And you don't necessarily need to shut down all the way either. You can set your thermostat from 75 to 78. That's not a huge difference for one household, but if all of our users do that, it makes a huge difference to the grid. When you conserve energy through HomeConnect's platform, you're accumulating watts or points that you can redeem for cash or a variety of other prizes in our marketplace store. You can also use these points to enter into a raffle we have every other Sunday. We've done trips to Disneyland as prizes, a family paddleboarding set, a washer and dryer. We've done $5,000 cash. Our recent prize was a West Coast train trip. And this Sunday, we're going to be doing a day at the spa. So we can really maximize your points, and we really do reward our users for conserving energy. This summer, we launched our End California Blackouts campaign to enroll as many users as possible to prevent rolling blackouts. As you know, California and other parts of the country have been especially hot, and even throughout the world, we have just been making records this summer, and that's not a good thing. As part of our End California Blackouts campaign, we've partnered with Google to give away 1 million smart thermostats. Through the end of September, users that join for free, of course, can claim that smart thermostat, or they can choose an alternative offer of $25 and 2 smart plugs. Users can participate without a device, but device users do save 3 to 4 times more energy than a behavioral user, which is why we're giving away these devices for free. In addition, we have a referral fee for getting your friends and family to join HomeConnect. Every person that joins automatically gets a personal referral link. Through September 30th, when you get your friends and family to join with your link, you'll get $50 for every person that fully enrolls with HomeConnect. We have a user that made $41,000 in a month for referring people to HomeConnect. And he did that because he uses points to spin in our virtual wheel that we have in the marketplace. He got a referral bonus and he got to work to referring people. So he made a ton of cash in just a month. The great thing about HomeConnect is that small businesses and nonprofit organizations can join as a user and they can participate in our referral program. HomeConnect recently received a $3 million grant from the California Energy Commission to target low to moderate income households. Currently, 40% of our users are low to moderate income, meaning they participate in a program such as Care for PG&E. HomeConnect is focusing on the Central Valley because it's super hot here. 6% of our users are in Fresno County alone, and the Central Valley in general is the biggest population of our users, specifically because it's so hot here. Another initiative that we've launched is the City Energy Challenge. Bakersfield, Fresno, San Jose, and Oakland are participating. The city that gets the most users to enroll into HomeConnect by September 30th will be awarded 10 $5,000 scholarships that can be used for education or job training. Bakersfield is currently in second place. They could easily take home the gold and get $50,000 in scholarship money. Earlier this month, we also launched something called our Thanks a Million campaign. HomeConnect users can nominate themselves or someone else that is a frontline worker who's been working throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. The winner will be awarded 1 million watts, which is equivalent to $1,500. They don't have to do anything to do this. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's the catch? This has to be a scam. This is too good to be true. And the reality is that there's no tricks or catches. We've created a virtual power plant. When the grid is stressed, we tell the energy market, we're going to deliver X amount of energy. And we deliver that by asking our users to conserve energy. The energy market pays us, and we get to reward our users for conserving energy. So there's no tricks or catches. We've partnered with different organizations and businesses, such as Bitwise, because we know a vote of confidence by these trusted organizations is instrumental in getting community support. I'll go ahead and drop a link for anybody who wants to join, and I'll list my email in case anybody has any questions. Thank you so much for having me, Amy. I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Virginia. And this sounds like just an amazing opportunity. And as a community-minded organization ourselves, we see so much value in the community-focused approach that HomeConnect relies on. And by working together, we really, we're able to scale our impact for the Central Valley and our state, tenfold. So we're incredibly lucky to be partnering with somebody like HomeConnect. And beyond the positive impact this competition will have on our cities, we're excited about the scholarship opportunities at stake. These can be used for our training and coding classes. And if any of you have joined any of our past, kind of town halls, we did a Bitwise download for months, during the pandemic. That we are always looking for different scholarship opportunities to give students that are unable to pay for our classes. So this is just another way to remove a barrier for students to come in. This will really provide an incredible launching pad for folks from our city to pursue careers in tech and build the next, world-changing company. So Virginia, again, thank you so much for your time. Okay, now on to a hot topic that I get asked all the time, right? When are you guys opening? When are you returning to work? What is going on with all of that? So as many of you know, who have been following Bitwise, since basically March 2020, early March 2020, I think we were one of the first companies to go work from home. Our team has been working from really whatever corner, they could find in their home and take over to do their daily tasks and keep Bitwise moving forward. And I honestly, sitting here right now, I can't believe that we've been doing this for 17 months. Sometimes I have to go back and, I hear March and I think like, oh yeah, that was just this March. And then I realized it was March 2020. Like I can't wrap my head around the fact that we've been doing this long. So Bitwise is a very tight knit group. We all are actively, moving Bitwise forward, trying to remove barriers, trying to help as many people as we can in this community. But we miss, working out of a building together. We miss seeing each other every day. We miss the spaces we're able to go into the downtowns. For me, working from Bakersfield prior to joining Bitwise Bakersfield, I was driving up to Fresno a couple times a week. So I was able to go into those buildings. So I know what it's like to be around Bitwise in a physical place. And we're hopeful to, that we're able to return to that physical space soon, but we'll be doing that in as safely as we can and when it is safe to do so. So we don't take this decision lightly at all, and we'll be watching our county cases and hospital capacity diligently. It's a weekly thing. We talk about, we meet, we talk about, we look at the numbers. Our CEO is constantly combing over data and updating all of us as to where we're at. Our own priority, or our priority, has been really and will continue to be the health and wellness of our staff, their families, and our community. So now, even as we're preparing for return to work, we realize that it's much more intensive, really, than just flipping a switch and saying, okay, you can go back, right? The time working from home in the middle of this global pandemic has really had a long-term effect probably on all of us, that a lot of us, sitting here don't even realize until you start to make that transition back to work. But we're being very mindful of those details. In fact, we have a whole return to work team. The woman leading that on our team is doing an amazing job, and we're lucky to have her in that position. We're not just taking into consideration things like where we'll sit, where we'll park, who we'll eat with, but how we can ease back into the workplace, into a physical place, and be aware of and accommodate for everyone's varying comfort needs. I'll talk to somebody and they're going, I can't wait to get back. I want to walk through those doors. They're excited. I talk to the next person on our team and, the anxiety's running high. They're wondering what they're going to do with childcare. They're wondering how they're going to feel in a building. They're they're exhausted after having in-person meetings. So it's really all over the place. And we really want to take that into mindful consideration as we continue to move forward in allowing, in getting our doors open. So just know we are doing our very best to get back into this physical place. We work with some of the absolute best humans on this planet. And we're fully, we'll be opening these doors soon, but we will absolutely be doing it with the well-being of everybody in mind. So with that said, everyone is anxiously waiting to hear a little bit about our building. And you may have seen it in the news lately. We've had some people, we did some tours from the news coming around. So hopefully anybody on this call has at least seen a little bit of a glimpse. But if you haven't and you've been anywhere around 18th and H in the last few months, though, you've probably seen the amazing transformation that the outsides of our buildings have gone through. And while that's incredibly impressive, as you guys all know, I hope many of you remember where it started. Just wait until you see the inside. I show up every other day. I go in for a couple hours, check it out, and every day there was something new over the last 3 months. The building at 1701, which is that corner building on 18th and H, is 99% finished. And we're still adding a few more touches. I know there's a mural going somewhere. There's little kind of just details being added in there. We can't wait to show it off. So the 1701 corner building will have the tap room on the very corner where the garage doors go up. That'll be open to the public. There will be event space to rent out in a number of different ways. There's co-working, leasable tenant space, our Bitwise workforce training, which is our educational side of the house, apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship training, and Bitwise employees will be housed in that. And then 2 doors down, right next to Locale, is our second building. And if you've been on the west side of that building, you've probably seen the big blue I think it's blue and white BW go up on that side of the building. And that building is slated to open spring of 2022. I just walked around that building with our CEO, Jake Sobral, and finally got a glimpse into what it's turning into. I was in it over a year and a half ago when it was the original, start. Nothing had been torn down, and it's transformed before my eyes. I cannot wait to get in there as well. That second building will have a theater room for presentations and meetings. And I guess I should point out the big differences between the 2 buildings. The corner building houses smaller sized businesses, meaning, 2, 3, 4 people, where the second building is capable of medium sized businesses, maybe 12, 15 people, just more square footage for the building size of the tenants that are leasing space for us. So a theater room for presentations and meetings that'll be our largest room that can hold the most amount of people for a presentation. And if you're sitting on this call and wondering if your organization could rent it out, the answer is yes. We've had higher ed come to us. We've had private organizations, nonprofits, all come to us already looking to rent space here in the future. And many of them wanting to do kind of reoccurring meetings, right? Whether it's board of directors meetings or whatever it might be, they want to get on the calendar. And in that building will also be, so the tap room's on the corner building. In the second building, we'll have a full craft cocktail bar, an arcade, tenant space, classes, and a coffee shop. So that whole block right there, while we're right across from the Padre and next to Locale, it's just transformed right that street. It's added to our community. It's creating jobs. It's moving people into our building, and we are so excited to show it off. So I've said this before, and many of you, if you've heard me speak, I've said this many times, but it's because it's very true. If you've ever had the pleasure of walking into any of our spaces in Fresno, you've had the chance and the experience to feel the energy you feel when you open a Bitwise door, right? People are collaborating, they're innovating, they're just all around having a good time. You hear laughs coming from a corner, you hear people creating stuff. It just ignites something in you, and it kind of lights a fire of wanting to get in there and do something and make a difference, whatever you might be doing, right? Because again, we're housing tenants of other companies. We're renting co-working space. So there's a number of different things happening in our building, but we can't wait to show that off, because I think the exact same thing's going to happen here. We create that space on purpose. That physical place is put in our downtowns, and it's meant to be the place that does this, right? You want to walk through a door and feel transformed. You want to feel like you're in this space that really isn't anywhere else in our city right now, that I can think of. So we really can't wait to see it come to life. All right. So this is another big piece of information. We could not be more proud of our CEO and co-founder, Irma Olgan. But before I wrap it up, this is some really fun news to share that's going to come out here very soon. And I promise when it comes out, everybody will have a chance to view it. But on August 4th, our very own Irma Olgan Jr. gave a speech. And not just any speech, but she gave a TED Talk. And for those unfamiliar with TED Talks, TED is a widely popular platform that believes in the power of ideas to change attitudes, lives, and really ultimately the world. And I have to say, if you have not watched a TED Talk, please YouTube TED Talks. You'll be stuck in YouTube probably the rest of the night into tomorrow, because they hook you. They're good. They don't just let anybody give a TED Talk. It's really a big deal. And our CEO, Irma was selected to speak on their main stage, which is even a bigger deal. She shared her story, talked about how Bitwise got started, and more importantly, really why we exist. Because our why, I've said this before, Simon Sinek is a motivational speaker, and he's an author and all these things. He has a book that's called Start With Why. And it's really, the whole premise is around, if you know your why, those are the organizations that are, the Apples of the world, the ones, the big organizations making an impact in our world. And we know our why. Every single person at Bitwise knows our why. And the whole premise around the book is everybody should know what you do, right? When you go to work for an organization or apply for a job, you should know what that company does. Okay. And less people typically know how it's done. And even less people in some organizations know why they do it. And that's the complete opposite of Bitwise. We know why we do what we do, which I think is why we're so successful at what we do, and why we're, I've called this a movement a couple times tonight, and it's because I believe it's more than just a company. It's a whole movement that we're behind. So went off on a little side tangent there. But it's an exciting time for our company and for Bakersfield, because this is a story of the Valley, of diversity and technology that Irma gave at this TED Talk. It's of women in leadership and overcoming the establishment to improve communities, and on a national stage. So Irma will be featured alongside folks like NFL player Alex Smith, comedian Julia Sweeney, and Lizzo. And if you don't know who Lizzo is on this call, also YouTube. So this is a big moment for our, your homegrown San Joaquin tech company. And I hope you can hear it in my voice how excited I am for this to be released. So the issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion that we've baked literally into the DNA of the company have come into the national conversation, and we get to be a part of this change. So let's show our neighbors, around the country, what scrappy upstarts from the Central California, what from the Central Valley can do. As soon as we have details on when and where you guys can watch that, like I mentioned, it'll be all over our socials. I really don't think you'll be able to miss it. And I can't wait to see it. And you'll be able to see it as well sometime in September. So from here, I am going to go into jump right into our Q&A. Please, again, if you haven't submitted your questions, continue to put those in the QA, and we will go. I will go to the first one. So first one, how do I get an apprenticeship? Easy. We do this based on referral program, but all you need to do is take one of our pre-apprentice classes, and you can do that by going to bitwiseindustries.com, workforce training, signing up for whatever one you want to take. There's 4 pre-apprenticeship classes, website for beginners, mobile friendly, JavaScript, and React. So if you even, you may be sitting there saying, I have a little bit of experience, but I need to take JavaScript. Sign up for JavaScript. It'll enter you into that, and you can not apply. I don't like to say that. You can, look into one of our apprentices and work with our team to get into one of the apprenticeship programs. Second question, I've taken some tech classes elsewhere. Can I apply for an apprenticeship? We want to make sure you've taken a pre-apprentice class with us, and that will make you eligible to get into that program. All right. Will you be bringing high-level Or hiring entry-level computer programmers? If so, when and how? Absolutely. We are hiring every day right now. We are growing like crazy, and constantly looking for people who fit into what we're looking to do. So again, if you go to bitwiseindustries.com, you can do the drop down in careers, look for Bakersfield, Fresno, wherever you are looking to get a job. I also recommend getting in touch with our team. You can always, again, when you look to sign up for a class, you'll make connections in Bitwise. Oftentimes, we hire based on referrals. So get to know us, and the opportunities will likely start to open for you. I'm interested in coding, but I don't have much experience. What classes do you offer? So the great thing about our program, our pre-apprenticeship program, is you need zero experience. You need to maybe know how to a little bit navigate a computer, but we're going to teach you the rest. You don't need to have any prerequisites done to enter into our website for beginners, which is our entry level first class into Bitwise. I highly, highly, highly recommend you sign up for that, even if you don't have any tech experience whatsoever. That's kind of the open door into a life-changing experience. Great questions. Let's see, cost. So I mentioned this earlier. The pre-apprenticeship classes they run for 6 weeks, and each of them are $250. Meaning, if you went through all 4 of our classes, which really kind of puts you out as a entry-level developer, you're looking at spending $1,000 for 4 classes over 24 weeks. I can't think of many places that will give you the kind of education we're going to do and launch you into the career of tech for that. Now, with that said, I understand that $1,000 is still a lot of money, and $250 per class is a lot of money. And the next question is, how can I get financial assistance? If you cannot afford it, we will connect you with somebody on our workforce training team, and we have scholarship opportunities. There has never been somebody at Bitwise that has the grit, the determination, the want to do something different that can't take our classes because they can't pay. So we will make sure that we remove that barrier. I mentioned this earlier, but there's all kinds of barriers that have kept people out of tech for a very long time. And that is one of our highest priorities. How do we remove those barriers? And if cost is a barrier, we will help you remove that. What if you took website for beginners, but it was a year ago? Should I apply for an apprenticeship or start all over? I think you could still apply. We do know, it to me, and I hope I'm answering this question correctly. And apologies, I don't work every day with the workforce training team. To me, it would depend on your level of comfort, right? If you feel like you lost all your knowledge that you gained because it's been a year and maybe you haven't been putting it to use, I would recommend taking the class again. But to my knowledge, you are qualified to talk apprenticeship at that point. Do the specs of my laptop work? Can I get assistance with my laptop? Yes, you just need a laptop. We can help with that. So, and again, if for some reason there was something standing in the way of you getting a laptop, we will help with that as well. If there's something that you're sitting on this call and you're going, but I can't do it because of this, or I can't do it because of that, come to us. Talk with people on our team. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. We work with some of the best humans I've ever personally met in my life. They will go above and beyond to help you get to where you need to be if you want to get there. All right, next question. So I want to apply for a job. Where do I go? Again, we are hiring. Go to our website, put in the location as Bakersfield, select the team you're interested in. If there's a position there that matches your interest, you'll be asked to upload a resume and enter some personal information to get in touch with you. We get a lot of applications, but we'll reach out if there's a fit. I will say this. I'll share a kind of a fun story. People that are looking to hire individuals on our teams very much want to know you as an individual as well, which is, I think, a very neat difference with our company. Is you'll likely get asked to tell your story, talk about you, who you are as an individual, which is, very Bitwise of us. So uh, I think I've ran out of time. I thought I would have a lot more time. I apologize. We would love to hear from you. If I did not answer your question, again, please email pr@bitwiseindustries.com and we will make sure to get your question answered. Thank you, Bakersfield, for joining. I can't wait to see all of you in person.